Good evening, warriors. I'm actually doing one a little bit this evening because I didn't get a chance to do one this afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are on your purpose and your plan. Hope things are going well in the way that you want them to go well. And I think the main thing that we try to do, my friends, is to try to have you guys become the most efficient, the most effective person you can become. And so we talk about these type of things. We're talking about self-development, self-discipline, and the warrior mentality, which is really kind of, we're always fighting a battle. We're always at war. A lot of it's within our enemies, within ourselves. And once we conquer that, we can conquer anything that's on the outside. And that's the whole key in the philosophy that I go to. The other thing is that I think that we have to be closer to our God. And that's another reason why I embarked on this journey 818 or whatever it is, 18 days ago of NoFap. And then also I did fall back a little bit on the monk mode. I'm still back at 40, 50 days now again. So we're moving ahead with it. But there was a couple issues there. And those things do happen, those things happen, and especially thinking about things, you run into those type of issues a lot, and so that happens too. So, but we're moving ahead, we keep improving, and we keep going forward and trying to become the best person and the best men that we can become, and women as well. I don't have a lot of women listeners, but those who listen, I appreciate it, and we're also looking for the benefit of women as well. Retention also helps women as well. It's really not just a male thing, but we focus on males a lot because males tend to have the biggest questions about this, the biggest ideas, and about the biggest types of concerns about how they can kind of keep their energy more. All right, so we had a number of different people who sent in things, and I appreciate all of that. The idea that you really gonna want to focus on is looking at a lot of good comments. And I'm going to kind of focus over the next couple of days on physical activities and even interaction and intercourse with people while you're on semen retention. So we'll kind of delve into it a little bit, and I'll kind of share what I interpret the Bible says about this, and also how you can focus on it. Because we had Nizar, who had a good question about the question we're going to talk about today, but he also had a good question about whether how do you do that when you're married? And I think I addressed it before, but we'll talk about it more in this situation. And Kirby had a good topic. So shout out to you guys. Kirby had to talk about trying to look at physical types of interactions when it comes to retention as well. And so I appreciate those comments, and we'll talk about that over the next couple of days as well. Also, a shout out to Alvin, a shout out to Drew. Nice comment about Drew. Thank you. Drew thinks I look a lot younger than 61, so I always appreciate that. So thank you, Drew. You're a good man, and I appreciate that a lot. And we had good comments across the board. Abstract 101, I thank you for your comment as well. I appreciate that. And we'll talk about Nazir's comments and a lot of the stuff that we've been talking about, but a lot of good comments, a lot of things that we're going to focus on as we talk today and continue talking day by day. All right, so Nazir's comment is, let's talk about this a little bit. Nazir has a good comment on this one. He's asking whether or not it corrects anxiety. So let's kind of go back a little bit and look at this, okay? So I'll go back to the Bible a little bit in this discussion. And the Bible talks about the fact that you should not have any thought for tomorrow, okay? You should not concern yourself over tomorrow. You should continue to kind of focus on the things that you're doing and trying to continue focusing on getting better and better. And so the thing is, as you look at these type of things, you're looking at trying to say, okay, how can I reduce the anxiety? A lot of the stress and anxiety we end up having is kind of internalized. And that's how a lot of things start. Disease, for instance, when you look at the word disease, it comes from the word dis-ease. The body is at dis-ease. Dis-ease means not easy, not comfortable. And that's when you're more susceptible to colds and all kinds of other types of viruses and things like that, because of the amount of stress you have. Now, I'm not saying that's the major reason, but that opens the doors up to a lot of issues. This is why the Bible says, give no thought for tomorrow, just focus on today, because the Bible knew very well that people struggle with the idea of anxiety. And so the anxiety comes from the fact that you are not comfortable with what's happening now or in the future. And so you're worried about it. I remember doing one on worrying a little bit too, and only 7% of the things we ever worry about ever happen. But the amount of people that worry on a daily basis is incredible. And that's why you have a lot of people on depression, anxiety, all these type of things, taking pills all the time. Some people, 1 out of every 4 people take pills, to go to sleep and things like that. This is not good. This is not good. But that anxiety also comes from the fact that a lot of people who don't have a strong belief in something bigger than themselves, they struggle with this idea of faith. And faith and hope does play a big role in anxiety and stress. Now, given that fact, how does this affect retention? Now, if you look at this from just a purely logical standpoint, you would say that as you keep in your semen, as you keep in your nutrients, you're going to become a stronger person. I know, and I can only give you my experiences, that through all these days, my anxiety level has been reduced 100 times from before I started this 817 or whatever it was days ago. Because I feel stronger and I'm able to handle these things more. And plus the fact that I'm working out, I'm not overeating. I've dropped about 25 pounds. I'm at the point where I can reduce a lot of those things in my life that's made it stressful. As a result of that, then I feel like I can kind of tackle issues better and I'm not going to worry. And we've gone through a lot of stress of late. I have kids at home now. They've come back home for a little bit. I have animals at home. I have dogs, big dogs running around, Pyrenees, Newfoundland. I got, cars, new cars, old cars breaking down, all kinds of stuff. Start of the semester, different things happening. A lot of stress happening. But my level of stress has been so much better because of the retention. And I fully believe that. So Nizar, I believe that it does correct it to some level. But the key is this. As you go on your journey of self-retention, of semen retention, because the Bible emphasizes this so much, when it comes to not being dirty, they call it, not being dirty, not releasing your energy, you are now becoming closer to God, in my opinion. And as you become closer to God, you become more trusting in God. And so there's a couple two-edged type of thing here. Yes, the nutrients, the energy can help you fight off that depression and anxiety, and that helps it. But the bigger thing is you become closer to your God, because now you're becoming closer to the environment, to the world, to your maker, to the earth, because you're keeping the things in you. You're not being drained all the time. See, when you're being drained, it's easy to fill those gaps up with anxiety, depression, worry, all these things that we suffer from in a society, and lots of people suffer from them. A lot of people seeing psychiatrists, depression pills, things like that. And that's because they're not up to 100%. And I think a lot of it's because where they treat their bodies. And now remember, the other thing too to remember is that, according to our Bible, is that the body is a temple of the soul. So if you treat the temple of the soul the right way, and that's by the things we're talking about here, the better off you're going to be when it comes to being able to deal with stress and failures and heartaches. Remember, every failure is a seed of success. So you're going to be able to succeed. You just have to kind of look at it in a different way. So the key is, my friends, to kind of focus on the idea that as you retain more, you're doing it for several reasons. A, You're trying to break a bad habit. That's why I started it. Because you know down deep, subconsciously, that God, I think God is telling you, but you're also listening to the inside voice of yourself. You can call that God, you can call that whatever you want to call it. But that's telling you this is just wrong. You can't be releasing all the time. This is not the purpose of these activities. That's not the purpose of this. So you know it's wrong down deep. The question then becomes, can I learn to stop this? And that's where you get into faith and hope. And as you become more stronger on your self-discipline, now you become closer to the Lord and your God. And as you become closer to your God, now you don't fear things. This is why warriors don't fear things. They don't fear other men. They don't fear other situations. And as you keep your energy in yourself, you become stronger. You become that superpower. You become that superhuman person. And now you don't fear anything. My level of anxiety is so small compared to the way it was. It's surprising when I even do it, when I even have anxiety. Because what you're doing is you're building your strength. You're not throwing your energy and strength out the window. It's an easy concept, but it's very hard to follow. 817 days has not been easy, right? But it took me 47 years. I'm in 61 now. It took 47 years to actually start this. So like I said, one of the reasons I'm kind of talking about this and talking to Nizar and everybody else is the fact that I'm trying to kind of give you guys some idea that if you do this early in your age, can you just imagine the type of success you're going to have? You're going to be a superhuman person when you're 25, 30 years old. And you're going to be drawing all kinds of success to yourself, but you're also going to be tempered. You're also going to be self-disciplined. You're also going to be on a self-improvement plan, and you're going to find the one woman, not the 30 women, right? You're not going to fall into that trap you see of all these lascivious behaviors. See, it looks good, my friends, and we know this. It looks good. All this stuff looks good until you're caught inside of it. And we talk about these energy suckers. We talk about these vampire suckers. We talk about these zombies. These people are all around you. And you have to sit there and be disciplined to say, no, I'm not going to fall into that trap. I am going to do the best I can to move forward. Now, thoughts, again, come into you. I had my problem with that with monk mode a few weeks back. But the thing is, you don't want the birds to have it flying around your head. They're not going to nest in your head, and now it becomes a bigger problem. So Nizar, a great question. Once again, I hope I answered this one. Again, as I go through the anxiety thing, I don't think I've changed in talking about this over the last year or so. I believe it's a huge impact, but I also believe that it's in combination with you becoming closer to your God. You're becoming normalized again. We think normalized is just running around having sex with all these women and just chalking up the numbers like the women do with the men, body counts and things like that. That is the worst thing for you for lots of reasons. But the one reason is it takes a lot out of you, both the men and the women. There's a cost to having one-night stands. There's a cost of having sex with people that you don't really know as strangers. And there's a cost in your own energy, and to do that, you drain yourself. And as a result of that, you're not strong. You're not strong. If you do this on a continual basis, you may think you're invulnerable when you're 20, but as you get older, you'll realize that, what am I doing here? This is not worth it. And that makes a big difference. Nizar, good question. I'm going to go back and try to maybe answer your second question tomorrow, or I may take Kirby's question, maybe combine them both together. So guys, have a great evening. We'll talk soon. Battle on, my friends. Battle on. God bless you.